So what do we got here? These are viewing tapes from the editors.
Well, and this is all the stuff that doesn't make it into the show, and there's some solid gold on these tapes.
You mean like all the screw-ups and things?
No, the screw-ups make it into the show. It's little experiments that didn't get cut in because of time constraints or other factors that, you know, really support the myths that we did, and some really good stuff here. That's an outtake.
We keep trying to up the bar on the stupid stuff we're doing.
In this special Outtakes episode, Fighting the Clock, the scenes we wanted to show you,
I think we cured my chronic back problem.
but couldn't fit into the original shows.
It's all about man's inhumanity to man.
At last, we're getting them to air, so we can finally get rid of those tapes. Who are the Mythbusters? Adam Savage
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
and Jamie Hyneman.
I kind of like it in here. It's private.
Between them, more than 30 years special effects experience.
That was intense.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
Okay, well, what's first up?
Well, this is a classic case of a story under which we have no control over the circumstances. We were shooting in a protected wildlife sanctuary. We had experts on hand to make sure we did not mess with the local flora and fauna, and one of the local fauna came and messed with us.
So you'd be referring to the Pingpong rescue.
Without a doubt.
In Pingpong Rescue, the challenge was to raise a boat from the bottom of Monterey Bay using thousands of ping pong balls. Challenge enough, but there was a problem they didn't expect, and you didn't see.
We're actually about to potentially release like 60,000 ping pong balls into this marine sanctuary. And what would be like a worst case scenario with those ping pong balls, do you think?
Well, we would want to make sure that no marine animals swallowed them, for example.
What are the penalties for interfering with or actually harming a marine mammal?
The penalties are actually very severe.
So we'd have to choose maybe a member of our crew who would take the blame?
I don't know, that would be up to you.
To contain the balls and protect wildlife, they ran a boom around the site, then got to work. But they didn't count on this guy. Turns out sea otters have absolutely no respect for booms or myth-busting or other people's property. Now, either he thought the ball was food, or he was really enjoying freaking out the crew.
Oh man, that's really cute.
Cute, huh? Tell that to the judge.
In Monterey Bay, ping pong ball plus otter equals jail time for at least some member of the crew. I think we'd have to draw straws to figure out who.
Jokes aside, no one wanted that otter harmed. The ball was too big for him to swallow, but they needed to get it off him. Support crew to the rescue.
Oh, he's playing.
Fortunately for everyone, the thief made good his escape, leaving his booty behind.
Well, those otters were incredibly smart. You know, not only did they find the balls on the surface, but they found the source of the balls, and we couldn't get them to stay away from it.
Yeah, I'm glad that we actually did not harm any of them, because there's only 2,500 of them left. I mean, it's super endangered species, and that we got that otter to eventually sign a release and give us permission to show it.
Well, now that we've got permission, can we destroy the tape?
Yeah, here you go. Well, next up is one of the simplest and yet most controversial stories that we've ever done, and we get to show the experiment that proves we got it right.
In Plywood Builder, the Mythbusters tested the story of the construction worker who was blown off a building. He saved himself by holding onto a sheet of plywood and flying himself back into the floor below. The vital component to this story was control as he was lifted off the building. Could he possibly hold onto that board and guide the descent? To test it, they set up a zip line. And in the show, you saw Adam take that ride.
I fart on you!
You never saw Jamie struggle to jump off that building or heard how windy it in fact was, like the Myth.
The more fun that this job gets, the more unfun it gets at times. We keep trying to up the bar on this stupid stuff we're doing. Hopefully I won't get killed in the process.
Got the train, Jamie.
Okay.
And ready to go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we go.
Jamie's a strong guy, but the wind resistance on that plywood sheet was more than he could handle.
Well, I don't care what anybody says. You know, they clocked me going down that zip line at about 15 miles an hour, and I could barely hold on to the plywood, much less control it.
Yeah, I mean, buildings can definitely generate huge updrafts, over 100 miles an hour in some cases, but that force would rip the plywood right out of your hands, and that's what we were trying to prove with the zip line.
And do you remember that piece of plywood was whipping around so much that Christine just flat out refused to do the drop?
You look a little apprehensive.
I'm surviving this moment, yes.
Christine intended to be the third down the line. But what with the wind and that big board...
You say when you're comfortable.
I'm not comfortable, but I'm gonna go.
Do it as soon as you
Okay.
can, Kristen.
Okay, I'm going to ease it down so it takes up the slack, okay?
Okay.
Okay, standing by, everybody.
It's your call.
I can't do it.
It's okay. You call it. It's okay.
I can't do it.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go up and talk to him.
She's adamant there's no way she's going to do it.
Which raises the question, is Adam Savage really the guy you want around to get you over your vertigo?
There's nothing about it that's not scary. Without a doubt, there's nothing about it that isn't scary.
Soothing words indeed. Strangely, they don't seem to have worked.
I want to so much. I really want to do it for you. I can't.
Time to call in backup.
No.
All right, give it a call, say I just can't do it.
I'm really sorry. I can't do it.
Christine, you know I'm afraid of heights, don't you?
Jamie was whimpering like a girl.
So, Christine, you're not going to do it for the team, remember?
That psychology ain't working.
Finally, they call in the big guns. The producer. He carries quite a bit of weight around here.
Get on there.
Get it over with.
I don't think you're paying me enough money.
Oh.
Can I negotiate that now?
Christine, these are for you. So what's next?
You know, it really bugs me that we go to all this physical effort. You know, we put our bodies on the line on these shows, and then there's only a little tiny bit of it that gets in.
What, you mean like Scotty and Tori's hours of rack time for Chinese water torture?
You saw 2 attempts to put water torture to the test. Adam spent the day in a comfy chair, being dripped on, until his bladder could take no more.
Oh my God!
But Carrie was strapped down and her head restrained. It eventually got the better of her.
I actually don't want to do this test right now.
All right, let's get her out.
It wasn't included in the program, But the build team continued their investigations, with Scotty next on the rack.
We're here to make you feel better.
That's pretty tight.
Is it?
They were free to stop anytime. Scotty only had her head secured and did fine for an hour, until someone added ice to the water.
I feel like my head is shrinking in on my brain.
All right, let's stop it.
Let's get her out of this.
Which left Tori. He had the double whammy, restraints and ice-cold water. It couldn't get any worse, right?
I think we've cured my chronic back problem.
They cured his back, but broke his head with freezing water. Not drops, a stream.
That would suck, as far as I'm concerned.
It does suck. But I can go all night long.
Tori, I'm gonna go, but I'll give you $10 if you make it a full 90 minutes.
You're on. Just shake on it.
Okay, man.
Okay, so like another $10 by another 90 minutes?
On top of the 90 minutes?
Double it.
You're on.
3 hours.
All right, shake on it.
Shake on it.
I don't think so.
It seemed like a good bet at the time, but as the minutes ticked by, just like Carrie and Scotty, he'd find the going got harder and harder.
I'm reaching the edge. I'm freezing right now. My shoulder's killing me, so I'll be losing $15. Big deal. I'm miserable right now. I'm so miserable, I can't even tell you. I'm done.
The build team had gone to amazing lengths to discover what seemed self-evident. Torture is just no picnic.
That is the worst.
Have you got that one with both you and Alice, the researcher, doing the coffin test on Buried Alive?
That one. There you go.
You saw Jamie's contribution to the Buried Alive myth.
Farewell, cruel world.
He was sealed in the coffin and a ton of dirt dumped on top, till the coffin started to cave in.
This thing's really starting to creak, and it's feeling like it's changing its shape.
Adam's turn came much earlier in the process.
Why is it I feel a sigh of relief when he's locked up inside there?
They were checking the effect of confinement on the body,
Temperature's 84.6 holding.
monitoring vital signs like heart rate and oxygen levels.
So Adam, how are you feeling? You feeling lightheaded at all?
I'm sweaty. I don't have anything like a headache. And I really, I'm not having, labored breathing. The air is thick and humid.
Of particular concern was how long it would take carbon dioxide levels in the sealed coffin to become dangerously high.
Adam, we're actually going to prepare to pull you out right now. The carbon dioxide level is shooting up pretty quickly and the percentage of oxygen is dropping.
By all means.
Adam lasted 47 minutes.
There you go.
Oh, that's bright. I really felt like it could have gone another 20 minutes.
In fact, based on his readings, in 20 minutes, Adam would have been in serious trouble, probably passing out from the buildup of CO2.
Fine.
Producer Alice took a turn too, and her similar result confirmed 45 minutes is about as long as you can lie in a coffin.
I'll tell you, my recommendation would be, don't drink 5 of these before you go in there.
In the cement truck myth, they tested the idea of blowing dried cement out of a barrel with explosives. But in the interests of science, someone had to see how long it takes the conventional hand-chipping way. That someone was Tori.
So we've nominated you to prove that it actually is possible to remove concrete from a truck by manual labor.
What? So, did I miss a meeting when this decision was made?
Yeah, you missed that meeting. But that's okay. You know, we're all really proud of you for taking one for the team. See you later, guy.
Hey, thanks.
Nice.
I know what you're thinking. Why does he get all the best jobs? I must have done something to piss them off. I'm trying to remember what it was. Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. They don't want me to knock all this out, do they?
It's confined in there. It's this big fat tin can. It's the noisiest, most unpleasant environment. I think maybe fiberglassing a house from the inside might be worse than this, but only by a little bit.
I feel sorry for anybody who would have to do this for a real job.
That's it. That's about an hour's work right there. So how long do you think that would take, man?
Dude, I have no idea. I mean, this would probably take like at least a week, maybe a month. I mean, it's a horrible job, and there's no way one person could actually do this. There's got to be a better way to like get cement out of these trucks.
Oh, I think we have a better way.
3, 2, 1. Big piece of chunk coming down, man.
That was really hard for Tori. I mean, having to spend an hour inside the barrel of that cement truck, fruitlessly trying to clean it. Can I do this one?
Sure, be my guest.
So, what's next?
Black powder. You know, I've been saving this one for the most frustrating kind of outtake, when sometimes whole segments get edited out.
Oh, like a whole step is removed from the process and the logic goes with it, and then I get emails saying we missed the boat?
Those are the ones.
In finding a needle in a haystack, you saw the machines Jamie and Adam finally put to work in the challenge. What we didn't show you was Adam's first idea in action.
What does that mean?
He wanted to use a metal detector, but given the huge volume of hay, needed to narrow down the search.
I'm gonna do some sifting with this stuff. See if I can't separate the needle from the chaff, as it were.
So while the sun shined, Adam made his hay shaker. And then the sorting started.
A little bit more, yeah. Okay. And we'll toss in a needle.
But would the needle fall through?
Let's take a look. There we go. So, needle fell through on first try.
It seemed Adam was on a winner. The competition was in the bag. But then, the light bulb moment.
Now the problem is, how would one get a bone needle out of here?
A bone needle?
Yeah.
How are you gonna find that?
The metal detector was useless. Things started to get weird after that.
Could we get a trained dog to sniff it out for you?
What we need is a bloodhound. Hold on.
Shut up.
Swear to God, that's a great idea.
The research department would be thrilled. How hard could that be to find?
Bone sniffing dog.
I need to find somebody who's got a scent tracing bloodhound that I can bring in on Monday. I want to know if a bloodhound can find a bone needle in a haystack. But you've got to keep the secret from Jamie.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
A shaker and a bloodhound. In truth, it was a plan best kept secret from everyone. So we did, until now.
You know, it's not just steps in the process that are missing. Sometimes it's entire alternative theories that are left by the wayside.
Oh, you mean like that theory that the second team had and actually tested that it was radio waves that caused the exploding tattoos and not magnetic energy?
Exactly, and it wasn't that we missed the boat. They just didn't put it in. Can we blow this up now?
You ready?
Okay.
The myth of exploding tattoos claims that a magnetic resonance imager, or MRI scan, can make tattoos blow up because many inks contain traces of iron oxide. Ink can certainly react to the magnet. The build team tried several types of ink and even made a guinea pig of Scotty, but there was just no reaction.
No, you're looking all right.
Now, what you didn't see was a side experiment the build team started down at the local radio station.
We learned that an MRI works in two ways. It has a magnetic field as well as emitting radio frequency, which is close to what an FM radio band would be. So we've come to the rooftop of KPFA to test radio waves on iron oxide ink.
So they needed to get their ink up next to the transmitter. And that's where they hit a snag.
No, we shouldn't climb it. It's not a good idea. We could get fried.
Plan B, build a smaller transmitter inside the workshop. Instead of 50,000 watts of power, this one had a much safer 30. Pirate Radio Mythbusters was on the air.
Hey, Tori, unplug it so we can see if we're actually broadcasting silence over the radio station that should be there.
Why, is it getting blocked right now?
I think so. It's silent.
All right, I'm gonna unplug it. Look at that!
Wow, so we are totally covering up radio signal.
There's gonna be a lot of mad listeners in this area.
You're going, what happened?
Now, the ink.
First thing we need to do is see what the temperature of our control and our ink is. Then we're gonna stick it next to the radio transmitter, leave it there for a half hour, and see if there's any heat differentiation.
Sounds good.
Both samples were a cool 69 degrees. Positioned next to the antenna, it was time to start transmitting. Welcome to Radio Mythbusters. Half an hour of non-stop hard-rockin' news and weather together. Oh, silence. 30 minutes later, was the ink hot? Was it warmer than the control?
Temperature, right into the iron oxide.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the results for this.
What do you have?
69.5. 69.3.
All right.
Both of these went up less than half a degree.
What do you guys think? Busted?
Busted.
Definitely busted. All right, let's wrap this thing up and go home.
You know, occasionally we do go too far. We're accused of testing every last permutation of a myth.
Oh, you mean like the time we tried to leach electricity from the power grid on the free energy story?
Yeah, have you got the tape there? You probably got like 9 tapes from that.
Probably. Let's see what happens.
Let the whole thing go. Oh, yeah.
Modulator activated.
In free energy, Jamie and Adam tried all manner of weird and wonderfully unsuccessful devices to generate power out of nothing.
Free energy across the board, busted.
Yeah, they're totally and absolutely busted.
We showed you that the laws of physics just wouldn't play ball on this one. But in one more experiment you didn't see, the guys put the laws of the land to the test.
This myth started with a farmer that apparently had some baling wire out in his barnyard, which happened to be in the vicinity of some power lines. And he somehow noticed that he was getting a little current. So he refined this and built a large coil, I believe, and was actually able to run his whole house off of it.
Well, so I'm not sure I would call this free energy, but I might call this free to me energy.
That's about it.
The theory was the electromagnetic field around the power lines would induce a current to flow in their coil. It seemed worth a try, and Jamie just loves getting down on the farm. Just a couple of hours away, they found what looked like free energy heaven.
The legal requirements for distance of any structure to a power line is between 10 and 16 feet, depending on the type of power line. We are at least 16 feet away because we do not know what kind of power line this is. So technically, we are fully legal in trying this experiment, and also, I should add, safe.
What we have here is about 3,000 feet of wire in a coil, and we put it on this frame, which is made out of PVC, plastic, which is not conductive. And we're going to get it as close as we possibly can safely to a power line. And we're hoping to be able to induce some current in this coil.
Okay. It's a lovely sculpture. It's all about man's inhumanity to man in a pipe and rope sort of way.
With the coil, they would also hoist up a box of meters to measure any electrical current generated, and a camera to record the momentous event.
Jamie, you ready?
Yeah, let's try it.
All right.
Go, Phyllis.
Worst case scenario is that we've got a camera in our rig up there and some huge lightning bolt shoots out of the power line into our rig, down the cable that we're watching it on, and turns everyone into a bunch of electrified German soldiers like the end of Raiders. Jamie, how fast do you think it would work?
It's going to be instantaneous. We can bring it down any time.
Well, let's bring it down. I'm tired of holding onto this thing.
Okay.
Whoa!
Well, no sparks, no lightning bolts.
It went from 2 millivolts on the ground to 8 millivolts up there. We're talking that 100 pounds of wire might be able to make your digital watch go. In order to make this work to power your house, we're talking thousands and thousands of pounds of wire in massive coils lined up under a big power line. I think we gotta call it plausible, but ridiculously impractical.
I agree. Plausible, doesn't make much sense though.
And it's potentially dangerous too, so don't try it.
Hey Adam, we can see Alcatraz straight behind us right now. Wow! We've come quite a ways, haven't we?
We have.
Another theory squeezed out of its original show involved the Alcatraz escape. Jamie and Adam proved the famous escapees could have made it across the San Francisco Bay to the Marin Headlands.
We made it!
What you didn't see was testing the idea they also used the tides to throw police off their scent. Some of the escape equipment washed up at Angel Island. That's where the FBI believes the criminals headed on their raincoat raft. But using the model, Jamie and Adam showed if the escapees got out to the water at the Marin Headlands, their equipment would have washed back to Angel Island on the incoming tide.
Look at that, they're heading right for Angel Island. You know, what's interesting, Jamie, is that it's on the western shore of Angel Island that they found a lot of the debris. It could indicate exactly what we're modeling here, which is that they might have released the raft here. They might have released their equipment and materials here to throw people off the tracks. These weren't stupid guys. I mean, the main guy was pretty intelligent. You know, I'm really glad that our theory about debris from the Alcatraz escape finally got to air. I mean, now the fans can watch it and debate it with all the information that we had.
Well, you know, while we're at it, Adam, we should give our fans a chance to debate our second attempt at the Breakstep Bridge. What do you think?
Enthusiastic fans might have seen this story on the website, but we've included it here for everyone else. In the original Breakstep Bridge experiment, the guys failed to generate a bridge-wrecking wobble in their scale bridge, so they decided to try again.
We didn't really show a whole lot on this. The bridge that we chose was a suspension bridge. It was, you know, one of the hardest bridges to bust this myth with because it's so flexible and strong by nature.
This time, the bridge was much simpler. A pier at each end and boards across the middle. They'd be able to tune the bridge by taking boards out or adding more in.
We want to show that it's not the weight, which is what most people think when a platoon walks over a bridge, that it's the weight, but we want to show that it is possible to introduce a fatal resonant frequency to a structure.
This time there were no mechanical soldiers. Adam would do the job himself, feeling the bridge's rhythm. In no time, Jamie and Adam had a new bridge to bust.
I know for a fact that it is going to break one way or another, and it's going to break dramatically. It's going to like snap. It's just a question of whether we can do this in such a way that seems like it's related to some harmonic.
They started with all 10 beams in place. They needed to test if the bridge was strong enough to hold Adam's weight.
Can you like sing a little marching song while you're doing it?
I don't know, but I'm in dog. Mythbusters bridge just won't hold.
It held his weight. So now the test. Adam needed to gently spring the bridge deck up and down in time with its natural harmonics.
Adam, remember, you can't leave the bridge service. You know, no jumping.
No impact.
No jumping.
Okay. Yeah?
Yeah. That's about as much as you can do. Your heels are leaving the ground, and you know it's more like you're pounding on it than creating a bounce.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's time to detune the bridge.
Okay.
Let's pull out a slot. That one's going to actually pull pretty easily, I think.
And so began a game of Mythbusters bridge-busting Russian roulette.
What'd I say? Let's pull out one more, and I'll run another march and bounce.
Down to 8 planks.
I definitely feel that it moves more.
As far as possible, Adam was trying not to exert any more force on the bridge. He was just moving in time with its natural bounce.
That's about as much as you can do. You're starting to get off the ground.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really close to the edge. Let's pull out one.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
I think that's enough, Adam.
So, Jamie, shall I go goose step? You know, bridges are strong.
You're getting airborne.
I know.
That's it. That's it.
Jesus.
They were down to 5 beams, but the bridge was still holding up.
That's it. No more.
Wow. C'est incroyable.
Now it's 4.
Dead man walking. Woo-hoo-hoo.
You're getting airborne.
No, can't break it. It's amazing. Walking out, 3 boards left. If they hold my weight, I swear to God, it's gonna break now. And so they do. Ready? Okay. Finally broke this damn thing.
Adam, I think this was really successful because the bridge held your weight stationary, no problem at all.
Yeah.
Once you started to oscillate, it broke. We tuned it to exactly that point. If it did it on this bridge, it'll do it on a real bridge.
Yeah. So, can you get me down from here? Because I can't touch the ground.
You don't want to swing around a little bit?
You know, with us, a lot of myths beg the question, what happens next? And we always test those if we have the time, but that definitely doesn't always make it in.
I mean, like with the second team when they were doing the balloon lift, and they proved that they could lift a kid off the ground with party balloons, but we had to ask, how high would you go?
In Carried Away, the build team tested that old Hollywood myth about the kid floating away with a bunch of carnival helium balloons. It's possible, but you need 3,500 balloons to do it.
Look at that! Oh my God!
To find out how high she might have flown, the Mythbusters broke out the trusty vacuum chamber.
I'll say 3,000 feet. My guess.
I was going to say 2,000.
I'll split the difference, 2.5.
All right.
At least around 30,000, maybe more.
All right.
Wow.
Let's get this thing on.
By pumping out the air inside the chamber, they'll simulate increasing height. But getting an airtight seal is tricky.
What's the shop motto? Carrie, what's the shop motto?
With enough lubrication, we can do anything.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
Oh, do you think
We're
it's
lifting?
There we go.
Woo!
All right, that's good.
That's 3,000 feet.
4,000 feet.
Okay. Wow.
5,000 feet.
Oh, we were way off.
Way off.
Now, guys, you know, this 2-inch thick plex
10,000.
is something that I've sort of eyeballed as being enough, but
11,000.
we've learned to be cautious, so I'd recommend as we get up near the higher levels of this thing, we should, like, stay away from it.
Okay.
13,000.
Look at the size of that balloon.
18.
19. I think Jamie might be right about this one.
We were way off.
Should have put money on it, Jamie.
I don't like the bet.
23.
Oh.
23,000 feet. Wow, and it shot right at it.
So the balloon flew to 23,000 feet. But remember, it's cold up high. So they tried again with dry ice in the chamber.
I'd say stop it at 25.
Temperature's 14 degrees.
25,000.
That's pretty cold.
And it's gonna start declining in altitude. How low do you guys want to go? Well, there you go.
25,000 feet. The Mythbusters have their answer.
So cool. So we're gonna have to let our 4-year-old know that this is an efficient way to run away from home.
In Cola Myths, Jamie and Adam put a bunch of beverage myths to the test. Could it clean up blood, dissolve meat, polish chrome, shine a penny, or eat your teeth? But there was another myth you didn't see.
I've got the leading brand of bleach toilet bowl cleaner. I'm gonna try and clean the toilet bowl and the sink.
Yes, it was the old cola as bathroom cleaner myth. Could it do this dirty job even better than the conventional cleaner?
Who thought cleaning could be so much fun? The leading brand of bathroom cleaners seem to do really quite fabulously. It took about 3 minutes to clean up this bathroom. I can only imagine that cola is going to take longer, because even if it takes up the grease and the stains, then you've got to clean up all the cola. Now, while Jamie's sitting over there, I'm going to prepare his bathroom for cleaning. Come on.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is engine grease. Jamie will be thrilled.
Okay, I hope I can get it off my hands. Maybe I should use cola. All right, let's go get him.
What is that?
Grease. Have fun.
You got to ask before doing this to my stuff. You know, it's like if that doesn't get cleaned off of there by some kind of a detergent, then it's like, I mean.
I just tested the leading brand. It works fine on there.
Okay.
As per the myth, Jamie tried cleaning it off with cola. The results? Less than stunning. Adam had a job to do.
Okay, well, the cola doesn't do anything to it. Now, you get your ass on the toilet and clean it off then, because I ain't doing it.
No sense of humor. Well, I hope this works. Oh, it's just gonna take me a little while. Oh, man. Okay, maybe I was overzealous.
It's just a little bit.
Oh, it's cleaning it just fine.
You having fun?
Yeah. See ya. You know, we get a lot of complaints for not being rigorous on this show,
And I think it's because the show makes it look like we only do these experiments once or twice, when in fact, we run these repetitions as many times as time and money will allow. It's not easy to get a big data set on Mythbusters.
Yeah, how many times did we do that eel skin and wallet experiment anyway?
God, like 500 times?
In this one, the guys determined an electric eel couldn't wipe a credit card.
Oh, he just bit the card. And thank goodness I didn't feel anything.
Nor was there enough electromagnetic energy in an eel skin wallet to do it. So the experiment boiled down to how strong a magnetic field it takes to wipe a credit card.
That one's good.
In the show you saw, the guys tried a bunch of stuff, from wallet clasps to phone speakers and a monster electromagnet.
Fine. 800 Gauss, man, are you crazy?
There wasn't enough time to show them all, but they tried that thing literally hundreds of times in various permutations.
No.
Another thing we couldn't show you was Jamie's favorite little toys. Tiny neodymium rare earth magnets that, pound for pound, could pull a car off the street. Watch this. That's a 25-pound weight.
Now, those are a couple strong magnets.
Now, 50 pounds.
Well,
okay.
75?
Well, that's the failure point. About 25 pounds per magnet.
Wow.
Be careful with these, you know.
And here's a neat trick.
I wanted to point out this bit.
You can even do it on your arm, can't you?
But the...
Okay, so I'm gonna take one swipe with this.
So would a magnet that strong wipe a credit card? Is Jamie's shirt clean and white?
Put it through.
I'm gonna put this right there so you know where it's at.
Okay. Yeah. There's definitely nothing on that card. Score! Yeah. So it turns out, as everyone already knew, big magnets will damage your credit cards.
Problem was, they couldn't get an accurate measure of the magnet's immense strength, so it never made it in the show.
There's an awful lot of tapes lined up here, Jamie.
Yeah, well, we're always running into these little mini myths or side stories that are related to the main story, but they're not big enough to make a whole story or episode out of their own.
Right.
And we want to get them in there anyway, so we shoot them, and now we're going to shoot them.
We're going to shoot all of them for real.
Yeah.
Excellent.
3, 2, 1.
In Exploding House, the Mythbusters proved that using too many insecticide bug bombs is a really bad idea. Jamie and Adam were confident it would work because they'd already done a bunch of testing in a mini blast chamber.
3, 2, 1.
And because time was short, you didn't see everything they did with it.
I remember, growing up on the farm hearing about barns that went up from, I guess it was straw getting in the air. And if it builds up a certain density, it can ignite and explode a building. The same with sawdust in a place where carpentry is done, or flour in a flour mill.
Yeah, I've heard flour mills used to explode all the time. And actually, also, I've heard that fake smoke, like a smoke machine, can actually, if in a high enough concentration, be ignited. So I think we should try all those in our scale house before moving on.
Sure.
In the show that went to air, you'll remember they tried several different ignition sources, and the plan was the same for the flour, smoke machine, and sawdust. First, the flour.
I'm gonna try the faulty wiring. Number 1, here it comes.
Okay.
Oh! Faulty wiring, number 2. Oh!
Smells kind of like baked goods.
It does. The danger in your local ravioli factory.
I don't know what you have to do to get it to light.
We're just unable to get the density in the air.
So they couldn't replicate a flour mill explosion. Next up, the smoke machine.
This is mineral oil. It's superheated and then put under a little bit of pressure. I don't see any way that it's going to be flammable, but I'm often wrong.
Once again, they tried everything they had to get it to blow.
Okay, so...
Stove igniter, 1.
Okay.
Now the open flame.
If it ain't lighting with that, it ain't gonna.
No. A fog machine fog. It's not flammable.
Sure, but it looks cool. One test left, sawdust.
I've actually been in quite a few circumstances where I was worried about it, working in a wood shop where it's just dense with, wood dust or something like that. I can kind of understand how it would work. Okay, you ready on the igniter?
I'm ready on the igniter.
The theory seems to be that the particles need to be exactly the right distance apart to allow the flame to spread between them.
You can see some of it igniting, but there we got a little bit of a flash. It just doesn't seem to want to ignite the whole area.
Finally, a little success. Very little. Too little to make it into the final show.
Well, it's proof of concept at least. Wasn't very impressive, but it does burn.
In Elevator of Death, Jamie and Adam spent a long, happy afternoon with elevator expert Les Appel. He didn't think jumping up would save you if it fell, but the guys had a bunch of other elevator questions they just had to ask.
Les, I've heard a phrase called eleva perpetuation that states that if you push the elevator button a lot, it'll make the elevator show up quicker. Is that true?
Absolute nonsense. It is, however, human nature.
Have you ever seen anybody get their head stuck in a door or be decapitated?
No, I don't think it's possible to have a decapitation from elevator door.
Well, what do you think? Is it possible to achieve 0 G if you jump up in an elevator while it's descending?
I don't believe so. You may, I think, create that feeling in your stomach on a fast-moving elevator as it starts, but I don't think you can actually achieve 0 G in a moving elevator.
Maybe we need Michael Jordan here to do this. He seems to hover in the
To test the peeing on the third rail experiment, Jamie and Adam ventured to the Golden Gate Railway Museum. And while they were there, they tackled the mini-myth that you could derail a train by putting a penny on the track.
Guys have actually graciously allowed us the use of their engine to test this. My guess is they don't think it's going to derail the train.
I would agree.
Oh, yeah. Look at this. Oh my God, they're really hot.
The myth wasn't busted, it was flattened. Rob the engineer wasn't too surprised.
So Rob, do you think a penny can derail a train?
Absolutely not, unless it's lodged in the engineer's eye.
That's good. It just goes to show that you cannot attack any one of the myths that we do without unearthing like 20 other little micro myths, and they're just not all going to make it onto the show.
Yeah, and then there's this constant battle that we have between science and entertainment. It's really an agony to decide what goes in the show.
I'm glad at least that the fans get to see the amount of work we do in support of these myths that doesn't always make it onto the show. And I see you're already doing the final honors. I can't keep doing this!